The 1908 World Series, featuring the returning champion Chicago Cubs in a rematch of the '07 series with the Detroit Tigers. The Cubs narrowly won their third straight National League pennant with a little help from a famous error with a funny name by the New York Giants' Fred Merkle, which led to a one-game tie-breaking playoff with the Giants. Game 1 was played at Bennett Park in Detroit and featured the pitching matchup of Ed Rohlbach versus Ed Killian. The Tigers got on the board in the bottom of the first thanks to a single by Matty McIntyre, which he followed up with a steal of second base. With 2 outs, Ty Cobb connected for an RBI base hit to make it 1-0 Detroit. A big third inning for the Cubs started with a leadoff double by Jimmy Sheckard. Johnny Evers followed with a bunt single to move Sheckard to third base. Wildfire Frank Schulte hit another single into right field to score Sheckard with the tying run and move Evers to second. Cubs manager and first baseman Frank Chance bunted for a force out at third and left runners on first and second. A Harry Steinfeld single scored Schulte and moved Chance to third, while an error on the throw by center fielder Matty McIntyre allowed Steinfeld to take second. After walking Solly Hoffman, the Tigers manager Huey Jennings pulled pitcher Killian for reliever Ed Summers, the third pitcher named Ed in this game. Joe Tinker grounded into a force out at second, but drove in Frank Chance and allowed Steinfeld to take third base. Tinker swiped second, then Johnny Kling reached on an error by Tigers third baseman Herman Germany Schaefer, which allowed Harry Steinfeld to score a run. Kling was caught stealing to end the inning with a score of 4-1 Cubs. The 7th inning featured scoring by both teams. In the top half, Johnny Evers singled, and Frank Schulte laid down a sacrifice bunt to move him to second. Frank Chance reached on another Tiger error, this time by second baseman Red Downs, which moved Evers to third. Harry Steinfeld then launched a fly ball to center field for a sacrifice to score Evers and make the score 5-1 Cubs. In the Tigers' half of the 7th, consecutive singles by Ty Cobb and Claude Rossman put runners on second and third when Rossman took an extra bag on the throw from center field. Red Downs made contact for a ground rule double to score Rossman, which was followed by a base hit by pitcher Ed Summers to score Downs. The Tigers were now within 1 run by a score of 5-4. Chance brought in Orville Overall in relief of Rohlbach, who got the final out after hitting the next batter with a pitch. The Tigers retook the lead in the 8th inning. Overall walked Sam Crawford and then was replaced for a third pitcher in Mordecai Three-Finger Brown. Brown got off to a shaky start with a wild pitch, which moved Crawford to second. A bunt by Ty Cobb was fielded by Brown, but dropped by first baseman Frank Chance on the catch to put Cobb on base and move Crawford to third. A base hit by Claude Rossman scored Crawford, and an error on a throw to third by second baseman Johnny Evers allowed Cobb to score. The Tigers now lead 6-5, but the Cubs rallied back in the 9th. With 1 out, 3 consecutive singles by Frank Schulte, Frank Chance, and Harry Steinfeld loaded the bases. Solly Hoffman hit a single to score the first 2 runners and moved Steinfeld to third. Joe Tinker laid down a bunt single, which scored Steinfeld and pushed Hoffman to second. In an echo of the 1907 series, the runners then executed a double steal to move to second and third, and a single by Johnny Kling drove in both of the runners for a final score of 10-6 Cubs. A high-scoring back-and-forth contest for Game 1 featuring a total of 5 different pitchers puts the Cubs in the lead of the series 1-0 as we head to Chicago for the next 2 games.